We'd like to thank you all for being with us today. And no matter what your industry is, this workshop hopefully will be valuable for everyone today.
In terms of new technology, whether it's AI, cars, gadgets, phones, there's always a certain way that we tend to adopt it and it becomes a part of our everyday life cycle.
This isn't just a challenge, it's also an opportunity. 170 million jobs will be created. Thank you, LAU, for having us, and thank you everyone for attending. My name is Omar, and I'm the CEO of OBCIDO, which is a marketing agency, and Talentdu, which is a training company. And today we're going to go through AI and digital marketing. And this is going to be a practical workshop, so we're going to try to showcase everything on screen. We will start with some quick information about how AI is reshaping any industry, and then we'll get to know you as well. And from there, we're going to start with some tutorials using ChatGPT, Midjourney, Canva, and also Facebook Ads Manager. If you'd like to connect to Wi-Fi, please scan this QR code. And if you'd like to follow with us on a laptop, you can also do that. Otherwise, you can take some notes. And by the end of the presentation, there will be a QR code on screen where you can scan it and download the whole presentation. For the first part, we're going to talk about the technology adoption life cycle, and my colleague Karim will lead this part. So Karim, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? So my name is Karim. As George said, I'm the creative manager at OBCIDO, and we're going to start off with our first topic, which is the technology adoption lifecycle. Now, we all know when in terms of new technology, whether it's AI, cars, gadgets, phones, there's always a certain way that we tend to adopt it, and it becomes a part of our everyday life cycle. If we take a look at this graph, it shows us that the life cycle, or the adoption life cycle, is split into 5 parts. We have the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. We're going to dive into them together. The first off are the innovators, which shape up 2.5% of the population. These are the pioneers. They're the innovators, and they're the ones that embrace new technology before it's been proven or widely spread. They're the ones that experiment, they take risks, and they sometimes face failures, but they always pave the way for everyone else. Examples of these people are like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs. Next, we have the early adopters. They shape up 13.5% of the population. These are the visionaries and the trendsetters. They're the ones that influence, and they always tend to take in technology when they see that they can gain competitive advantage over their competitors. Think of these, for example, as Tesla owners back in 2010. So when Tesla first came out with their cars, electronic cars weren't yet proven to be a good alternative to our traditional cars that we know. But people already envisioned that these would be a good alternative, and they took it on. Think of businesses using AI for marketing, like Midjourney, ChatGPT, and Jasper. And think of Netflix. We all know Netflix. They first started streaming movies in 2007, and everybody thought it was going to be a fail. Later on, we have the early majority, which shape up 34% of the population. These are the pragmatic majority. They're the ones that embrace new technology once it's been proven and stable. So they're kind of like on the sidelines, watching as the innovators and the early adopters experiment and take the risk with technology. And once they see that they can get tangible results, they take it on. So think of companies implementing AI chatbots after the success of Amazon's Alexa and Google Assistant. And think of the general public adopting smartphones in 2012. So we all know that the first iPhone came out in 2007, and before that we had the iMate, which was a window interface. But not everybody jumped on and started using those phones till later when iPhone came out with iPhone 4. And think of remote work adoption after COVID-19. So after COVID-19, when we were all forced to work from home, companies saw that using softwares like Microsoft Teams, Slack, and Zoom, that it could be a benefit for them. Later on, we have the late majority. These are the skeptical majority. They're the ones that adopt technology out of necessity over excitement. So they do it to keep up with competition and because they feel the market pressure. Examples of these are like Walmart or other brick and mortar stores. So after Amazon dominated the online world, the online shopping world, other stores like Walmart and brick and mortars, they started to shift more towards online shopping. And think of older generations using smartphones. So we all know our parents, it took them a while before they started using smartphones, and because they realized that it could be a benefit for them. be it keeping track of their medication, booking their appointments, or communicating with their loved ones. Finally, we have the laggards, which shape up 16% of the population. These are the resistant skeptics. These are the ones that would rather stick to traditional methods they know rather than adopting new technology, and if they do so, they do it when it becomes unavoidable and obsolete. Take, for example, Blockbuster. Blockbuster really resisted streaming movies online after Netflix did so, and because they stuck to DVDs, they went bankrupt eventually. And think of newspapers sticking to print media rather than moving to digital. And finally, small business owners that still would rather do their accounting on pen and paper rather than using an AI software to do it for them. Now let me ask you guys a question. Where do you think we are in terms of AI adoption in digital marketing? Are we with the innovators? Are we with the early adopters? Or the early majority? You guys can scan the QR code and jot in your answers. Okay, so we see that a lot of people think that we're with the early adopters. I love the 8% that think we're part of the innovators. Omar and I could probably be Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg right now. But in fact, we are with the early majority. And why is this? Because we're starting to see broader acceptance of AI. And this is because AI is becoming more user-friendly, more affordable, and it's being integrated into programs we already know, like Microsoft or even the Adobe suite. So Photoshop now has an AI integration that makes the job much easier. Now I'm going to give the floor to my colleague Omar, who's going to talk about the future of jobs and the role of AI.
Thank you. All right, so with the AI hype, a lot of us might be worried about the future, might be worried about our jobs and the industries that we're in. So according to the Future of Jobs report that was published this year, 2025, done by the World Economic Forum, we can see that by 2030, 92 million jobs will be displaced due to AI. So 92 million jobs will disappear completely. But we can also see that, on the other hand, 170 million jobs will be created, which is almost twice the number of the jobs that will disappear. So what does that tell us? It tells us that this isn't just a challenge, it's also an opportunity. And the key to future-proof yourself for the future would be by adopting AI and developing the skills needed in your industry, no matter what your industry is. Now, today we're going to talk about digital marketing and AI, but AI will soon, if not by now, be integrated in any industry, and you need to keep up with the market. So I'm not saying that everyone should transition, let's say, to digital marketing or maybe development or cybersecurity. You can remain within your industries, but you should learn new technologies, see how AI is being integrated, and keep up with the market. In this report as well, we can see the top 10 fastest growing skills by 2030. So as you can see, in number 1, we have AI and big data, and then we have networks and cybersecurity, which are both a bit technical. But if we look at the other positions, so 3, 4, and 5, we have technological literacy, creative thinking, and resilience and flexibility, which is something anyone can learn and anyone can practice, no matter what your industry is. Now, to get to know you a bit more, we'd like to know what's your current career. Similarly, if you can scan the QR code and let us know, please, based on the options. Okay, we can see that the majority comes from digital marketing and communication, which was quite expected. And we can see a lot of attendees coming from business and entrepreneurship, healthcare and medicine, education and academia. So this is all great, and we'd like to thank you all for being with us today. And no matter what your industry is, this workshop hopefully will be valuable for everyone today. So how did this workshop come to life? First of all, we picked a hot topic, which was AI and digital marketing. Then we partnered with LAU, and thank you, LAU, for always being innovative and accepting to host workshops about new ideas like this one today. And then we crafted the ad copy and launched the campaign. So a lot of you are here today because you saw an ad on Instagram or Facebook, you filled out the form, and then you booked your seat. And then we created a landing page for registrations. Now, those were the ads that you also, most of you, and those were the ads that we used to have a full house with us today. And now another question, especially that we have a lot of digital marketers with us. How much do you think we paid for ads to have a full room today? And those are the options, $200, $500, and $1,000. Similarly, please, if you can scan the QR code and share with us your feedback. So we have almost 100 votes, and we can see that the majority voted for $200 on ads, which is the closest one to reality. But actually, we only spent $20 on ads. And so this is our Facebook Ads Manager, just to also prove what we just mentioned. As you can see, we got 150 people who filled out the form, and we only paid $21. And this was due to the ads that we created, due to the great copy and the integration with AI. And this is basically what we're going to cover today. So how do you think those ads were created? AI, humans, or both? But just so that I don't take a lot of time, actually, we did integrate AI and human. And you're going to see that today. And then finally, for the last question, how long do you think those ads took us to create? So we have those options. And then for the final QR code, I promise, no more questions. None of the above. All right, so most of you got it right. Actually, that's how long it took us to create those ads. And this is exactly what we're going to cover today. So yep. Now, what we will learn today is how to create winning ads using AI. So now we're going to start with the practical part. Tools we'll be using: ChatGPT for ideation and copywriting, Midjourney for image generation, Canva for design, and then Facebook Ads Manager to launch those ads. Now let's get started. Before we start creating ads, we need to understand what are the elements of a successful ad. So as you can see, this is one of the ads. First of all, we have the creative copy, which is the copy that goes on the image itself. For example, here we have free AI digital marketing workshop. And then we have the logos of the tools. Let's say we have the date, time, and location. We also have the primary text, which is the copy here that goes on Meta. Then we have the headline, which is this copy here. And then we have the call to action. Now, before using ChatGPT, we need to understand what copywriting direction we want to take. Now, there's a big difference between copywriting and content writing. Content writing is more of a longer copy, usually for educational purposes, but copywriting is the copy that converts. So it's more salesy, and the goal of copywriting is to get people to take action. So we can see that we have different directions for copywriting, like benefits, features, before and after, testimonials, problem and solution, statistics, founder story, and three reasons why. By the way, you don't have to write those down because it will be shared with you by the end of the presentation. So we're going to see some examples of ads that use those copywriting strategies. For example, the first one is a benefits ad, which shows the benefits of using this product. Then we have the car ad, which shows the features of the car. We have the before and after, the testimonials, problem and solution, statistics, using powerful statistics to showcase what you're doing as product or service. We have the founder story and X reasons why. It could be top 5, top 3, and so on. A pro tip here for creating winning ads is to use multiple directions and see which one resonates best with your audience. Similarly, when we created ads for this workshop, we did not just go with one direction, but we created several directions. And then based on that, we were able to know which ad brought in the most amount of leads. And this is what we call a winning ad. Now, I'm sure most of you have used ChatGPT by now. And you know, for ChatGPT, you need to prompt ChatGPT, which is basically type something into ChatGPT to get the output that you want. So this is a sample prompt that we use for creating ad copy. Now, there's no specific formula when it comes to prompting. It's more just the way you communicate with your colleague. You can communicate the same way with ChatGPT. And then from there, you need to always optimize your prompt, and you need to test different prompts to find the prompt that works best for you. So as you can see, this is what we're going to ask ChatGPT to create for us. And for our case, for example, this is going to be, so this is the prompt example, but this is going to be the prompt that I'm going to add to ChatGPT right now. So the product or service is free AI digital marketing workshop at LAU. The details is that it's free, includes a certificate of attendance from LAU ACE, features practical training like the one we're doing now, and also we will have 2 speakers from Google and Microsoft at 12. Target audience, which would be you, working professionals, small business owners, and digital marketers. And for the copywriting direction, we can choose any of the 8 copywriting directions that we just displayed. But for now, we're going to go with benefits as a first one. And then this is what we need from ChatGPT. We need the creative copy that goes on the image. We need the primary text that goes on Meta and the headline, along with the characters limit. And we need the call to action. So now let's go ahead and use this prompt on ChatGPT. So this is the example prompt. I copied it exactly as it is. So we're going to take it, and then we're going to go to ChatGPT. And as you can see, as soon as we add our prompt, we get the output. Now, one thing, though, is that we asked for the direction to focus on benefits. Now, there's a difference between benefits and features. Features tell us what the service or product offers, and then benefits, it shows how the customer or the target audience can benefit from it. So, for example, with this output, it was focused mainly on features, but not benefits. So the free workshop, LAU certificate, hands-on training, all of those are features. But I asked ChatGPT to give me a benefits ad. So this is where basically human intervention is very important. And this is where anyone doing marketing, it's very important for you to understand what you're doing, what you're prompting, so that you will be able to better read the output and correct AI when it doesn't give you the right answer. So now this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say those. So now it changed from features to benefits. So as you can see, now we're talking about benefits, which is gain in-demand AI marketing skills, elevate your resume with an LAU certificate, learn directly from Google and Microsoft experts. So this is now the right answer. One pro tip as well is that you always need to report back to ChatGPT so that it always gives you better replies. So what we're going to do is give it a thumbs up, and also we're going to compliment it. Great answer. And this is what we're going to do so that now it knows us better. So back to... So as I mentioned, sometimes AI doesn't perfect it from the first try, and this is where we should know exactly what to do. Now, how we can improve it, read through the generated copy and check if it aligns with your strategy. Tweak for tone. Does it feel engaging and relatable? Sometimes it might sound like AI, robotic, and if you just keep it as it is, you'll end up writing copy as any other person. So you always need to train AI, train ChatGPT to write better answers. Now, we will test multiple directions to create 3 different variations of the ads. So we already did, actually, ChatGPT did the features for us, then we did the benefits, and now we're going to do one more, which is statistics. So we're going to head back to ChatGPT. All right, and another feature ChatGPT launched is called Search GPT. And this is very important to know the difference because ChatGPT has not been updated in terms of data for a few years now. So it cannot pick up everything that's recent on the web. For this reason, they launched something called Search GPT. So all you have to do is start a prompt, click here, And now you are in search mode, no longer in just normal prompting. And for us to get statistics that are powerful and would back up our offering, which is the AI in Digital Marketing Workshop, we need real statistics that we can, first of all, it should be credible. We should get the source. We should know where the data is coming from, because we can't just throw in any number and not confirm it before we use it. So that's why we're going to use Search GPT. And here I'm just going to say, I want 5 statistics. So this is what we're asking. So 5 statistics about the importance of AI in digital marketing. And as you can see now, it gave us the statistics, but it also showed us where the data came from. So now we also have references. So for example, we're going to go through those statistics and see which one is the most powerful, which we can use. Yeah. So I'm just going to go with any of those statistics now, and we'll take the first one, the widespread adoption. So we're going to copy this, and then we're going to head back to ChatGPT, to the normal ChatGPT mode. So here, as you can see, Search GPT is not turned on. So we are working within ChatGPT, not within the search mode. So I'm going to say I want one more ad. And for this ad, we want to use statistics and use this one. And then this is the one that we're going to add. And from there, you can see that the copy now also integrates statistic. Now, usually the way I prefer to do it is that the main tagline, this one, is the tagline that features the copywriting direction. So in this case, since we're using statistics, I would say I want the statistic. And then now the tagline says 85% of B2B marketers use AI, do you? And then we have the supporting points. 76% report high satisfaction with AI, gain AI marketing skills, and stay ahead, get a free LAUA certificate. So basically now we have 3 different variations of copy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this copy, move it to a Google Doc so that my colleague Karim can proceed with the creatives. So this is going to be the first one. Now, just to save time as well, we're going to go through one of them, not all 3. So we're just going to create one ad. And the ad that we're going to go with, it's going to be the benefits ad. So, some pro tips for writing better prompts. So you should always be specific with your prompting. And the longer the input, the better the output. So don't just count on ChatGPT right away to get your style from the first try. And you should always explain as much as possible so that you can get better output. Experiment with different directions to see what works best. As we did, we tried 3 different directions of copywriting strategies. And you can always use prompts like write 3 variations of the ad copy focusing on benefits. This way it gives you 3 different options, and from there you can see which option best fits what you're trying to deliver. And you can also focus, as I mentioned above, try to give as many details as possible. So maybe we also focus on the target audience. So we would tell ChatGPT who are we talking to, because it also makes a big difference who your target audience is. Always remember, AI is a tool, not a replacement, and you still need to guide it and correct it when it doesn't get the right answer. Now, from copy to ad design, since we have our copy ready, which didn't even take us more than like 10 minutes, now we're gonna take this copy and create the ad. To create the ad, we're gonna need 2 elements. I don't want to take a lot of your part, but we're gonna use Midjourney and Canva, and Karim will go through this part. Thank you.
So like Omar said, to create nice visuals, we're going to be using Midjourney and Canva to create our templates and our final designs. Now, one thing to keep in mind, when it comes to ads, you need great visuals to complement your copy, because this is what's going to stop the audience and for them to look at your ad. And with Midjourney, this has become much easier, because you can actually prompt Midjourney into creating specific visuals that you need. Now, before we get into it, let's just take a look at the evolution Midjourney had in the span of a year. The images on top and bottom are all of the same prompt with just 1 year difference. So we can really see how drastically it improved, and we can only expect things to improve better. Because even now, when using Midjourney, for example, let's say I want an image of an entire crowd of people there's always someone in the background that looks relatively floopy with like a finger missing or 5 fingers, or they put a beard on a woman. So we can only expect these things to improve over time. Now, when working with Midjourney, you have 3 ways of generating your images. You have a simple prompt, a descriptive prompt, and a lengthy prompt. The difference is, when you tell, if you're not looking for anything in specific, let's say you just want a visual of a car or a dog, but you don't know if you want it to look realistic or if you want it to look like a painting, you can simply just tell Midjourney or type in Midjourney a dog, and it's gonna generate 4 different visuals. So one is gonna look more like a digital art, one is gonna look like a painting, the other looks relatively realistic. So it's going to give you variations, what it interprets a dog. With a descriptive prompt, let's say I know what I want, which is a dog chasing a frisbee while running in a field, realistic, wide shot angle. It's going to give me more realistic images of a dog chasing a frisbee. And I see the 4 different variations here. With a lengthy prompt is when you exactly know what it is you're looking for. So here I say a Labradoodle dog chasing a frisbee while running in a field that's surrounded by happy people, make it look realistic, generate the image as if it was taken with a wide angle shot. So now I specified what type of dog I want, the action that it's doing, and what's happening in the background, and Midjourney generated these images for me. Another tip to keep in mind, and something that I discovered while using Midjourney, is that Midjourney usually generates images in a square format. However, if you're looking for a different format, if it's, let's say, Instagram's new post size or a story size or an HD format, what you need to do is type in your prompt, and then at the end you need to put a code. So you leave a space, you put 2 dashes, AR for aspect ratio, and then you type in the aspect ratio you're looking for. So if it's 2/3, which is Instagram's new post size, 4/7 for a story size, or 16/9 if it's a HD format. And we can see the different types of images that Midjourney prompt for me. Now let's dive into how Midjourney works. So let's say I want an image or a visual for for the workshop that we're doing today. For the first one, I went with a descriptive prompt, which is a young man holding his laptop, wearing a beige jacket, white t-shirt, and then I wanted it on a white background. Because for the first one, I knew I wanted just one subject, which was my model, to complement my text. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type in my prompt, and then I put in my code at the end, which is dash aspect ratio 4/7, because I wanted it to be vertical. And we can see the images that Midjourney has generated. Now I've done the same prompt on the bottom, so we can see that it doesn't generate the same images, they're always gonna vary. And if I like one, let's say I like this one, I can either choose to very strong or very subtle. Very subtle, it's gonna regenerate the same image with very minor changes, whereas very strong, it's gonna give me different variations of this image. So if I go ahead and click very strong, so we can see that it's giving me different variations, so it's a completely different model, but still the same pose, carrying the laptop, wearing the beige jacket and the t-shirt. Now, if I want a lengthy prompt, so if I know exactly what it is I want, so here I went with a beautiful young woman with long wavy hair, sitting in a cozy cafe using a laptop. She has a warm smile, wearing a light colored blouse with a soft cardigan, so on and so forth. And here it's gonna generate the images that I'm looking for. So once you select the images that you want, so let's say it's this one that you like, you can just choose to upscale creative, and it's gonna give it to me in a higher resolution, in the highest resolution possible. So once it's done, I can go ahead and download my visual. Now to save time, I already had the visuals I want selected for the ads that we're gonna be working on. So we can switch to Canva. Now the nice thing about Canva is that it makes the process of designing much easier. So there's a lot of AI features that help you design much quicker. So let me just go ahead and select. So one, you need to keep in mind what type of visual you're gonna work with, if it's gonna be vertical or a square size. So let's say if it's a square size, you can go ahead and select here. If it's any other specific size, you can just choose custom and you can type in the specific size that you're looking for. So for the ad that we're gonna be working with, it's one of the ads that you guys saw, which was this ad. We're gonna recreate it together. So here I have my blank canvas. And over here, wait, where the project? Okay. In project, I already uploaded the images that I want to be using, and I have them all right here. Okay, so once I have my image selected, the benefit of using Canva is that, for example, it has these AI features right here, which is the Magic Studio. So whenever you see the word magic on Canva, that means it's AI integrated. And the options that it gives you, so for example, it's either background remover, magic eraser, magic grab, grab text, magic edit. So for example, let's say I want to edit something in the picture, I want to change the color of his jacket. Again, it's still a work in progress, so sometimes the edit doesn't really work right, but we can only expect it to get better. And we have magic expand. So let's say my visual is vertical and I want it to, let's say, fit in the whole screen. I can just say magic expand, and it will expand the image for me. Yeah. So let's say I want to use this one. لا ما تقول هيك. هلا again, you're gonna see certain flops when it expands again because it's it's AI, so معقول يبين شيء that looks weird, but we can only, like I said, we can only expect it to get better over time. So we can see that it expanded the picture. Now this looks fine, and it made the lights look decent, and I have different options that I can choose from. So this helps because if you need a certain image to fit your frame, you don't need to do it on Photoshop anymore. You can just simply do it on Canva very instantly. So for the ad that we're going to be working with, I wanted to use this model. And the easiest thing I could do is just remove background so that I can have the subject himself. And then for sure, I want to have my logos at the top. So I have everything ready on my folder. You can have the LAU logo at the top, and then I can go ahead and okay. Copy my text. Now also the nice thing about Canva is that you can already upload your entire branding, your branding things that you need. So your logo, your colors, your font, you can have them all ready here, so it's much easier to use. So for my font, I use Sara, and so you have your toolbar up top where you can align your text, expand your text, make it bigger, make it smaller, to whatever you find that looks best for you. So let's say I have my text here. You can make your text smaller. And let's say I want to have bullet points. It can do that. Or I can choose if I want to have, let's say, icons. I have Canva's very, very intensive library that I can choose from. So let's say I want, I don't know, like a spaceship. So it's either going to give me graphics or photos that I can choose from. And there's a lot. So let's say I want for my first point to have a little spaceship that goes along with my text. I can go ahead and select it and have it placed in this way. But for this part, for this ad, I want to choose to have, let's say, numbers. It tends to get a little floppy sometimes, but it's fine, again. It's very important for you, to, for example, to highlight certain things in the text that you want to showcase first. So for example, for freeze, the first thing that grabs people's attention, so I would prefer to highlight it in white so it really stands out from the rest. And then I have my benefits on the bottom, which are not as important as the main headline. And then the AI tools that people are going to be using, and then the information like the date, the location, and the time at the bottom. Now it's really fun. Now using Canva, it's really nice to like experiment with it, to try out different things, because there are a lot of things that you can do other than, for example, the magic expand, the magic eraser, the magic edit, for example. Let's try here. Let's say I want to select his computer and say, make the laptop black. I don't tend to use Magic Edit a lot because, again, it doesn't give you the best result, but you can always try out and it keeps on improving, and when it gets to a point where it's really neat and crisp, that would be great. I had a silver laptop before. Let's say I wanted a black laptop. It switched it up pretty nice. Here I can place my model, and you can do this with different things. Like if you want to change his hair, you basically need to prompt it as well. You just basically need to feed Canva what you want to change within the visual, and it will. So once you have your ad ready, let's say this is done, you can just go ahead and share, click download, and you can choose the format that you want to download it in. If it's JPEG or PNG, so let's say I want it to be in JPEG, I want it to be high quality, and then I choose my current page, which is the third slide, done, and I just click download. Now, it's very important when creating ads, you really need your ad to be clear, simple, like don't overcrowd things. You really need to grab the audience attention in a very short time. So you need to have your text very clear, very visible, have a complementing visual that goes with it, and then have the benefits or the features at the bottom very nicely and neatly displayed. You don't need to like overcrowd it with background vectors or anything else. You really need to communicate your concept very easily to the viewer. So these were the images that I used, and this is the prompt like I showed you guys before. These were the prompts I used to derive these images or to generate these images. We went through Canva. We spoke about like for example, the format of the image, if it's a square or if it's a vertical image, the copy, and how to refine your design. Once you export them, we did the Canva tutorial. And here we have the final, let's say, ads that we're going to be working with. There are other AI tools as well to use for video generation, but personally, I haven't played around with them yet. I still rather to edit my videos myself. And for me, AI, I'm adopting it at a later stage. Because I did graphic design, so I still like to work on my own visuals. I still like to use, for example, real stock images. But I can't deny the fact that AI has made a lot of things easier. For example, when I was working for Kuwait, it was really hard to find stock images that resonated with the locals, the men wearing the dish or the abay. Now with AI, you can really generate these images. Again, you really need to like test your prompt. You need to add a few things because sometimes they're going to look a little weird. But I know the improvements are being made on a daily basis.
But in all cases we need a designer اللي هو بيظبط.
مفروض.
يعني
مفروض.
هالبرومبتس مين بده يعطيها؟ إنه ليه بده يلبس بيج مش أسود.
100%. And like at the end, for the final visual, like for the minor tweaks and those little edits, you do need a designer just to uplift the entire visual. So once I have my images ready, I can go ahead and hand them over to Omar. So these are just the tips for you guys to keep in mind, which is keep your visual simple, align with your brand. So use your branding colors, your fonts, your logos, highlight the offer, make the offer very prominent, and test variations. So you can test images that are AI generated, you can test images that have real people, and you can see which one works best.
Now, a lot of you shared like in the answers mentioned that you work in digital marketing, so this is not something new for you, but for those who would like to start running ads on Meta, you need to understand what's the structure of ads. And I will show it to you also on a live account. But usually we have the campaign level where you set the objective of your campaign. In our case, the objective was leads. This is what we were trying to do. So we were running the ads, and then when someone clicks on the ad, they go to a landing page, to a website, they fill in their information, and this is considered as a lead. Then we have the ad set. Now the ad set is where you can test multiple directions of a group of ads. And here you can define targeting, so who's your target audience, you can define the budget, the placement, the optimization, and so on. And then we have the ad, which is basically the creative that we have been working on today. So everything we've done today is in this level. And each campaign can consist of multiple ad sets, and each ad set can consist of multiple ads. So we already mentioned that. And now Facebook or Meta has also been testing a lot of AI features into the way we run ads. Similarly, years ago, if someone wanted to launch a Facebook ad campaign, it would take us a lot of time, maybe even hours. But now we can just do it in minutes. And it depends. Some marketers still prefer to do things manually, while other people are just letting Meta do the decision. So some of the features that Meta now introduced, for example, we can see that Meta does enhancements on images. So we can give one image for Ads Manager, and then we can run some enhancements on it. Facebook might think that it would be better to add music to the ad to get more results, or Facebook might also think that if we change the color or the contrast of the image, it might also get better results. So that's something purely optional, and you can either use it or avoid it. For example, I personally don't use enhancements. I might use copy generation, where basically if we give one primary text to Meta will give us various options that we can use based on also AI and like the technology that's being used by Meta. But the thing that I used most is the Advantage Plus, placement and targeting. Now, what does Advantage Plus means? And if it's a bit technical, I'm going to show it to you on the dashboard as well. But Advantage Plus, previously when we used to run ads, we had to specify exactly who we are targeting. So in our case, for example, I would say, we want small business owners, we want people who work in digital marketing, we want university students, and so on. Now, Meta helps us with this part. If we turn on the Advantage Plus feature, Meta will find the right people for us and target those people, using algorithm, of course. So this is something very useful, and it saves a lot of time. And also, Meta can choose where to display your ad, because Meta has different placements. For example, it could be Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Audience Network. But also on Facebook, it could be as a story, it could be as a post, it could be as a marketplace ad, and so on. So those are some of the features that Meta also added as AI. But the important thing here to note is that every tool we've been using for so long now is adding AI to it. So what we need to do as people using those tools is to stay up to date with their latest features. Even everything we're covering today might be outdated in just 3 months, and I'm sure it will be. So it's not only important to use what we mentioned today, but it's also very important to stay up to date with the market and keep up with all of the new technologies that are being released. Now, I'm going to switch a bit to Facebook Ads Manager just to show you what we've done. So we have, as you can see here, we have the campaign level, we have the ad set level, and we have the ad level, which is something that we covered here. So as you can see, the campaign, ad set, and ad. And then ad sets are groups of ads. In our case, for example, we wanted to test static ads versus videos. And we will see the results now. So as you know, we got like 150 leads from those ads that we created. We can see that video ads got only 25 website leads versus static ads, which got 125. Now, this is also another function that Meta offers, which is called Advantage Plus Budget. And it allows Meta to decide how to distribute the budget on the ad sets that you have based on what Meta expects will perform best. So here in this case, the majority of the budget, although the budget was only $20, which is very small, $16 were spent on static ads. Those got 125 leads, and $5 were spent on video ads, and it got 25 leads. But we can also see that the cost per result for static ads was better than the video ads. We got 13 cents for static ads and 20 cents for video ads. Now, if we want to see the ads like all together and see which ads performed best, so you can see those are the ads here. And you can also see that some ads, in terms of results, we can see the top performing So this ad, for example, was the top performing one, and it got like 103. This ad, for example, was not fully AI generated. I mean, like those are our images. The copy was AI generated, of course, and Karim used Canva to create this ad. So it wasn't really a lot of work. It was very simple and very hassle-free. But this was the ad that got the best results. Now, all other ads, although we even created a video, which took way longer in terms of time, it got 25 leads. However, the static ad, which took minutes, got 100 leads. And this is something that I mentioned previously, that static ads make it easier for you to test different variations instead of spending a lot of time on creating one video that might not even resonate well with your audience. Facebook has multiple placements where you can see the ads. I mean Meta. Meta has different companies under it. It has Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So how do I know where should I display my ad? I can say that I only want my ads to show on Instagram. But Facebook might do better, especially that a lot of you might not agree, but Facebook has 3 billion active users versus Instagram that has 2 billion active users monthly. So this is why Meta gave us the option to let AI do the decision for us. So instead of you specifying that I want this ad to show as a story on Facebook and as a post on Instagram, you don't have to do it anymore. You can just turn on Advantage Plus placement, and Meta will figure out the best placements for you automatically using